Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick video discussing the things that I feel like we are totally missing out and doing wrong in the world right now with this whole COVID-19 situation. So, first things first. If I was to be in charge of how things went with the world during this pandemic, I would have, actually no, I'm going to change that because we can't change anything that's already happened. So there's no point in talking about who made what mistakes. What we can change is what we do from this point forward, and whether or not we proceed in ignorance or we proceed with the proper caution. So, number one, before anybody should be freaking out about vaccine or no vaccine, quarantine or no quarantine, positive or negative, what we should be talking about and understanding is how to properly wash your hands, when to properly wash your hands, why and how the projectile works with the virus, with our speaking, with the moisture in our breath, our sneezes, our mucus, things like that, our touch. And we should also all be properly informed, educated, and trained on the proper use, adornment, and removal of PPE, your personal protective equipment. When we are putting on a mask and going into a store outside of our house, even in our house, if we feel so necessary, we should be putting on a new mask and new gloves and even new goggles, technically, and even new like smocks, okay, or scrubs, like outerwear, before we ever change our environment. We should also be washing our hands in that process twice. To go to a grocery store, you should be at minimum, taking hand sanitizer with 70% alcohol. This is important, so it breaks down the outer layer of the virus itself so that it can actually do anything to it. We need to put the hand sanitizer on for a minimum of, I believe, 30 seconds. It needs to stay wet for 30 seconds, okay? Get in every crevice of our hands, all the way up to our elbows if possible. We would then take new sterile gloves from a new sterile box and place the gloves on our hands. We would then take a new sterile doctor's mask or medical mask. Now, if you have one of those awesome little mask boxes that you put it in and it has the black light that like the UV light that kills the germs, then that works perfectly fine. You can take out your reusable mask at that point. You will be putting the mask on over your ears and making sure it is tight to your nose all the way around. If you were to put eyeglasses on and breathe and your eyeglasses are steaming up your glasses, then your mask is not being effective. If you were to put your hand right here or a feather right here or your hair right here and breathe out and your hair or that feather or your hands can feel the air, then your mask is not on effective. Same with if it's coming out through this backside of your ear space. When you go into the store or your friend's house or wherever the heck it is, you should be not touching unnecessary things, for one, but for two, never touching your gloves or your hands, if you don't have gloves on, to your mask or your face. If you do, then you need to change those gloves and wash those hands. When you get done in the store, you should have a person going through each store after every customer, technically, and spraying the proper cleaner on everything that could be touched to sterilize the environment. If this is not possible in the store, then at the checkout lines, this should be an option. If this is not possible at the checkout lines, then you yourself are going to need to be personally responsible to bring your own disinfectant, because everything in that store that has been touched by another individual, including food that you buy at fast food places, especially food, could have been contaminated if the person before you did not take the right precautions. All it takes is somebody to breathe on something. All it takes is for somebody to adjust their mask, go grab a can of soda, decide they don't want it, and set it back down. All it takes is somebody to touch money or a doorknob, especially, or a shopping cart. As you are exiting the store, there should be proper disposal containers. There should be biohazard containers at each door. At which point you would take off your mask with only your pinky finger and dispose of it in the proper container. Take off your gloves with your pinky finger. You roll it up halfway. Maybe I can show you if I have a pair right here. I don't think I have a pair. Never mind, I don't. But you would take your pinky finger and you would pull up about halfway, and you would take your other one and you'd pull up the other way, and you would grab it within itself and throw it away. And then you would wash your hands completely and place a new mask on. And place new gloves on. And then carry on to your car. When you get when you get out of your car, you should be sterilizing it, just in case something was on your clothes. At your house, you should also have the proper container for disposal, because now you are bringing your trip in that car, because don't think that germs and viruses can't blow in through your air conditioner if they are in the air. If you have your window down, if you have your air conditioning on, anything. If it was just on your clothes because the person that was in the store with you was not taking the proper precautions. When you get home to your house, before entering your home, right in your little entry hallway area or right outside your door, you should be again changing your gloves and mask, or putting your mask in a sterilizer, and at least doing the hand sanitizer, but preferably soap and water for at least 25 seconds. That's the birthday song, that's ABC's. then you should be changing your entire outfit and putting it immediately in the washer. Unless you have one of those UV sterilizing lights, then you could do that on your whole wardrobe. Or I guess maybe even like the Lysol that kills it. I don't know. I guess if you really are insistent on keeping your outfit on, but. And then you should sterilize that area of your house. Constantly, you should be sterilizing your house at this time. They sell UV lights that stores could be putting into their stores that would kill the virus, which they have at some hospitals, and you could purchase them now. Actually, somebody is marketing them, I believe, and you can place them, above your aisles and really help out your employees and your customers. That should be mandatory. If a store wants to be open, they should be required to purchase those lights. They should also be required to have people regulating that people are doing the proper PPE going in and out of the store, and the waste is getting disposed of properly. If for some reason a store is not willing to do that, then that store should not be allowed to be open. That's what should determine if stores are open or not. The amount of customers going into the store should only be the amount that are able to go in with proper sterilization. If a store wants to hire extra, medically trained staff or biohazard staff or whatever, like so that they can go around and they could be constantly cleaning things, then that's maybe a solution. Or maybe lines will just have to be really long outside, and guess what? It's going to be really uncomfortable and really boring and really inconvenient, and people are going to stay home a lot more on their own without being forced into quarantine. If somebody is not willing to go to work because they are scared, that should be a valid reason. The government should be paying for those people. If somebody does not want to get a vaccine, they should not be required. Because I'm sorry, but as much as you want to blame the non-vaccinated for the vaccine having issues like mutations or whatever, it goes both ways. It's only like if nobody got vaccinated, I'm pretty sure the world would know how to handle it naturally. Medicine was not created by anything except a human in order to stall the inevitable and to feel better when we do things that we shouldn't have done. Like eating crappy food, like not loving ourselves, like doing risky sports, like getting in fights, like, but germs and viruses, things like that, I'm pretty sure the universe knows what it's doing. As for traveling, I feel like everything can be regulated on the use of the proper PPE. You should only be allowed if you are doing that. When people turn up sick, if you've tested positive, there should be a requirement that you have some little like GPS tag or like an app that you can download on your phone or something that says where you're at until you test negative. I'm not saying put you in jail. I'm saying you should be on house arrest or in a medical facility, isolated. It makes no sense. I can't wrap my head around it of why we would be having people just because they're not sick enough, but they can still get other people very much sick enough, why we would allow those people to be sent home just to, on their own, just try not to be around people. Like go into quarantine. That's not gonna work. You're literally releasing what you're trying to quarantine people from back into the circulation. It makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying put a chip in somebody tracking them. I'm not saying put an ankle monitor on somebody tracking them. I'm saying give a little GPS tag. Probably about 75% of the time, they'll actually keep it on them and we'll actually know where they are. About 25% of the time, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be sneaky and they'll leave it home and they'll go and they'll, do whatever they wanted to do. But that amount of percentage is a lot less than what is currently roaming around just because they don't feel that sick anymore. Those GPS tags are about $1 on Wish. Shout out to Wish. There should be somebody going around in every community, preferably volunteers. Again, call out to all you light workers. This is your time. They should be going around and testing people. Kind of like doing the census. Okay, just a really continuous census. I mean, sure, it's going to be extra work, but what's more worth it? Millions of lives or some overtime? After somebody finally tests negative, at that point, a professional team or a team of volunteers who have been professionally trained should go into that person's house and disinfect the entire place for them. This is a time that we should be looking out for each other. There should be food drives, things like that, going for the people who need help because they are not willing to go into work. Landlords should still not be allowed to kick somebody out as long as they are being good tenants still, just because they aren't paying. However, those are the people, the landlords, who should be getting the money to them. Utility bills, again, should be what gets the government grants so that they do not have to be charging for utilities right now. So again, people don't have to feel like they are obligated to go to work. Not to be lazy. Every single person, this is going to be the funny one, probably for some of you, but I'm being very serious about it. Every single person should be required to have a plant or a tree that they keep within their proximity. Whether it be a potted plant that they keep in their car, a little potted plant that they wear around their neck, I don't know, maybe a tree in their backyard, maybe a tree on their porch, I don't know. Everybody should be required, though, to have at least one. That's including homeless people. Treat it like a baby. Or have it somewhere that's safe, that's documented. Even if it's planting a tree in a park somewhere or, in a field, just somewhere to get some fresh oxygen circulating in the universe. Every single person, especially those who are sick, should be in the sun for at least 20 minutes twice a day. Hands down. At least 20 minutes. When you're sick, it should probably be a little bit even more than that. What else? I think that's probably it for now. Basically, I think it's ridiculously stupid how many people, and I'm sorry if that sounds judgmental, but this is kind of something that needs to be judged at this moment. There are so many people who don't know how to even wash their hands the right way. There are so many people who don't understand how germs travel in an environment. I'm going to be attaching a link to a couple of little sample videos that explain how germs and viruses get transmitted. So you guys can check those out if you would like to learn the technical terms and the technical procedures for in each of the categories, okay? And until then, I send you pure love and light. I am also going to be attaching how to prevent getting COVID. So make sure you check out that video, because I myself have been exposed 4 times and have not contracted it, at least not visibly. I've quarantined each time instead, like just in case, but I have not experienced the symptoms because of what I have found to be the prevention method. So check out that video, check out those links, educate yourself, please, 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 please. And respect yourself as much as you respect your neighbor. And as much as you respect your strangers that are around you. Blessings to everybody, love and light, and I wish you the best.